Hey everyone, we are talking about the step up. If you are a new manager and you are about to have your first meeting with your manager before you take over your new team, these are the 7 items you definitely want to cover to be sure that you're successfully on your way. Let's get to it. So the first thing that you'll want to understand are the objectives, priorities, and any challenges that come with this new role. Again, this is your opportunity. You're meeting with your manager, and this is before you take over your new team. Hopefully you learned quite a few things during the interview process, but provided you did not, this is the perfect opportunity to start asking those questions. What projects are already in play? Is there anything that you need to accomplish this first week starting? Also, you'll definitely want to know what are the 30, 60, and 90-day goals for you in your new role. This way, when you know what the expectations are, it's a lot easier to meet them. So again, this first step, be sure to get to know what the priorities are, what the challenges are, and what the objectives of your role is. The second thing you'll want to get to know is what documentation already exists for your role. Ask your manager if it exists, and if it exists, where is it? Can you easily access it? If it does not exist, then ask your manager, who can you talk with so that you can start learning the different processes and procedures that exist for your role? Whether that be meeting with a peer or a business partner, you'll just want to ask your manager what will be the best way to get this information if documentation doesn't exist already. The third thing you'll want to do is get access to systems. So this can be tricky, but what applications, what resources, what platforms does the business use that you need access to? Sometimes you're required to request those early and approvals are needed, so you'll want to get started as early as possible. So finding out what the systems are and what you need to request access for will help get you right on your way. The fourth thing that you want to request is your onboarding plan. Now, I probably could have listed this one as the very first thing you would ask your manager for if the manager isn't already providing it to you. But an onboarding plan is your guide to everything that you need to get done within the specific time frame. So whether that it's a 30-day plan, a 60-day plan, a 90-day plan, it is letting you know exactly the steps that you need to take so that you can really get ramped up quickly and get started in your role. Now, if one isn't available for you, then have no fear. It is something that you really can create on your own. Hopefully, the organization has assigned you some sort of buddy or a peer, someone who you can work with and ask the different things that you need to know in order to really start your role off right. So be sure to get an onboarding plan. And if again, one hasn't been created or provided to you, go ahead and do that yourself because it really will help you to get started. The fifth thing that you'll want to know is, are there any manager meetings and when are your regular one-on-ones with your manager? This way you can again prepare. So if there's a weekly manager meeting on Tuesdays at 11 a.m., you can be prepared that every Tuesday you will need to attend that meeting. Same thing for your one-on-ones. You just want to make sure and find out when those regular meetings will occur so that you can be there. And then aside from that, you also want to ask if there's an agenda, especially for those manager meetings that took place prior to you joining the organization. Those agendas that were written out for those previous meetings, you can review those notes and really get a sense of where the team is, what the conversations have been, what projects, what priorities, what the goals are. Get that information when you're meeting with your manager for the first time. The next thing you'll want to get to know are team dynamics. Now, this is something that you can definitely ask your manager in that first meeting, but you can also lean on your new peers, business partners, other groups that might know your team very well. You can get to know your team. How long have people been around? Who are your rock stars? Who might need more attention? And aside from just asking people, sometimes companies have actual resources, dedicated applications and platforms where all of that information is housed. Previous performance reviews, any sort of write-ups. You'll want to take your time to really understand team dynamics, where your team has been and where they currently are. Again, this is all just to give you that kickstart and boost that you need to get started on the right footing. And the last thing you want to get to know is company culture. Now, hopefully, you were able to get some sense of that during the interview process, but provided you did not, you'll definitely want to, again, tap into peers and other trusted people who you are getting to know to understand what the company culture is. This will really help with how you handle projects, how you make requests for approval, how you might situate your ideas, and when you determine is the best time to pitch them. Getting to know the company culture is a super important part of your new role, and you can definitely get started with that in your first meeting with your new manager. There you have it. These are the 7 steps to cover in your first meeting with your new manager before you take over your team. Many of these your manager may already have on their agenda and they're already going to cover with you. Anything that's not already on that agenda and not automatically shared with you, then it's definitely something you can ask about. This is all just to get you in that place where you really understand the expectations, the objectives of your role. You really understand where your team is, what the company culture is, how to proceed with any ideas and projects, requests that you have. You want to get access to those systems that you need to get your job done. And you definitely want to have access to all of the resources available to you so that you can really be the very best version of yourself for your team and for the business. For more quick tips and techniques, subscribe to our channel and also check out our ultimate assessment from Oh No to Leadership Pro, linked in our description box. Until next time, stay practical and lead better.